Is a big clash between Blackbeard and Shanks incoming? If so, let's check out the theory, and please subscribe for more updates. The release of last chapter showed us Wano arc is not over yet, finished, and probably and that the end will be tragic. We are all familiar with the theory of Wano may have been based on Kabuki theater divided into acts. According to the structure of Kabuki theater, it is divided in 5 acts. Act 1, introducing of characters, place that started at chapter 909 and ended in chapter 924 with Kid and Luffy defeated. And Act 2, accelerating the pace of history and Alliance pirate prep before the great battle. Now we are in Act 3, and even after 98 chapters Oda didn't show the end, and according to the tradition of Kabuki theater, it should end with a terrible tragedy. But what could this be? It's Blackbeard. His last appearance was in chapter 956 after the newspaper news. He said he goes after something the Marine wants before they get it. What could he have seen in the paper besides the Sabo news? Well, he may have seen the 2 emperors fall to supernovas. Now let's look at what the Marine government wants and why he will go to Wano, or will arrive in the next chapters. Number 1, Platoon. Many theorize that Blackbeard would go to Alabasta to get Pluton after the Nefertari incident, but with the last chapter we find out that Pluton is hiding somewhere in Wano. Number 2, Nico Robin. She is the only one who can read and most importantly understand the history of the poneglyphs. We saw in chapter 1029 that the world government is behind her again. Number 3, road poneglyphs. We know that Blackbeard is not the type to go after danger like Luffy for example. He prefers to take advantage of situations. The current situation in Wano is perfect for him because in addition to the alliance being weakened after the fight, he can get 3 road poneglyphs, Luffy's 2 poneglyphs and 1 hidden in Wano, getting even closer to the title of King of Pirates. And number 4, Luffy and his own devil fruit. Another famous theory is that Blackbeard will consume 3 devil fruits. He already has the strongest Logia Yami Yami no Mi and the strongest Param Shigura Gura no Mi. Before Kaido's supposed death I hoped he could get his dragon devil fruit, but I now believe that Nika's devil fruit is the strongest zone. Obviously Blackbeard won't be able to steal Luffy's fruit, but the country is full of strong zone users like Marco the Phoenix. Plus Blackbeard might manage to steal some devil fruits for his crew. So, the great tragedy would be the arrival of Aramaki and Blackbeard's crew, making Luffy and his crew need to flee. And the 4th act is going to be marked by a great battle, and it will not be between Luffy and Blackbeard. It will be between Shanks and Blackbeard. Shanks' last appearance was in chapter 907 where he talks to the Gorosei with a certain pirate. We have 2 possibilities. 1, Luffy, and 2, Blackbeard. Possibly it was Luffy, because soon after that the Gorosei started to know more about Luffy's fruit being Nika. But he could also have gone to warn about Blackbeard. As we know, Shanks is a diplomat who seems to try to keep the balance of the world, seen in Marineford with him stopping the war, warning Whitebeard not to go after Teach, stop Kaido, etc. There is also a theory that each crew member of Roger is at strategic points in the world to guide the next king of the pirates. Crocus on Reverse Mountain, Rayleigh on Sabaody, and Shanks may be trying to keep the world in balance until Luffy be the pirate king, but why? As we well know, Roger said something to Shanks that made him burst into tears. Maybe he said that he couldn't become the next king as he was yet to be born. Roger then would have asked his crew and, mainly Shanks, to guide the way to the next king because that would decide the future of the world with the arrival of Joy Boy. So Shanks, apparently knowing Blackbeard's plans, would try to stop him in Wano so he wouldn't get stronger. This confrontation is premeditated since Marineford where Teach said it wasn't time to face him yet. Shanks would then have the confrontation with Teach in the meeting with Luffy asking him to go to Elbaf, his territory and where the last road poneglyph is. Even though the alliance is extremely strong, it's still not time for Luffy to face Blackbeard. I believe that there is a great chance of this clash happening, because the new book Road to Laugh Tale that will be released during this hiatus shows precisely these 2 characters in a confrontation frame. But the broken bar, and where is Ryokaja in the story? We know he is now in Wano to get Luffy's head. He won't be able to capture him. They say he can catch Robin alone, but honestly I doubt Oda will repeat Anai's lobby and make the Straw Hats come back to rescue her. That would break out in the final war and Luffy wouldn't make it to the last island. Also the Admiral can't go out defeated, empty hands, so maybe he can capture some sheaths, allies, and maybe get Pluton or the territory for the world government, as he needs to show his strength yet. He could manage to capture some pirates from the Red Hair Pirates crew, if Shanks would lose against Blackbeard.